Okay, Brian Hummel here, about to walk down another one of the berms. This was also just a caliche berm put in place, but I added a little bit of mulch and a little bit of oak needles and stuff, a little bit of compost in with it as I laid it down. And as you can see, there's quite a lot more growth. Part of the reason it's healthier is just from the water can't escape. So this is a landscape where the water's trying to come down the hill, and we catch it in these different places, and as you catch it, it slows, spreads, and sinks into the landscape. You can see another berm down the hill, and this basically series of berms helps keep the water on the landscape. And if you can see over there in a little bit of sunlight, there's another little patch of bluebonnets coming up. But this whole berm was, I would say, 90% caliche and maybe 10% organic matter. And if you look around, look at the moonscape. Everywhere on this landscape's a moonscape because the water used to come rushing off of here so incredibly fast. But now I've caught it in this berm, and this berm, what I see a lot of is hill country penstemon. I see some gay feather and a lot of standing cypress and bluebonnets. So let me just step over this really quickly. I want to show you one other thing. Just from laying some brush down, you can see all the pedestaling, but look, just from laying a branch down, strategically, keeping that organic matter on the landscape, this is knuckle high, holding back soil knuckle high. It's not good soil, but now this is going to be more able to grow plants than that. And if you continue this process, or if you just put mulch on the landscape, there's my berm coming across right underneath my hand, and that's going to prevent that massive flow of water coming down here, which caused all this pedestaling. And this is the pedestaling that you really want to try to avoid. And you can do it by coming and setting up a laser level. Initially I was thinking about putting another line here, so I've got an old metal pin flag marked with some rocks, but I did as much as I wanted, and I found a different contour line that I was more happy with. So I'm walking over one of the berms. This one had a little bit more organic matter in it, and was being hammered by deer, so it's maybe 2.5 feet tall, 6 or so feet wide, and it was placed on top of this caliche moonscape because I didn't want to do much digging here. I was afraid that the soil down here was so poor that nothing would grow. Now I've seen several examples through Drought-Proof Texas and some of the Texas permaculture projects that are doing the swales and getting much better results than what I'm getting. I'm basically just putting caliche on top of caliche, and it's no wonder why I'm not getting terribly good results. But part of the reason around here is, look, I'm dealing with the moonscape. I mean, this is what the ground has looked like for a long time. And I'm going to go up above this next berm. So as you can see here, water's catching and pulling water off the roadside. There's a road over there. You can see a telephone pole, catching the water off the hillside and pulling it down here around, slightly off of contour, right down that fence line. And then it overflows and gets caught into that next berm where there were bluebonnets just a few weeks ago. And when that one overflows, it goes and gets caught into the next berm down, and that berm flows all the way down and pulls water further and further at a very slight grade, maybe 0.5% slope, pulls water further down the landscape, and finally it overflows into that pond I showed in one of the earlier videos that was just a wall of bluebonnets. So this is a way that you can zigzag a flow of water across your property, and you can turn a flooding liability into a local agricultural asset, and as the water soaks into the landscape over a larger and larger area, you can actually recharge groundwater systems and create springs that flow longer during the periods where we do have rain. And in Texas we can get a year's worth of rain in one weekend, as we've seen many times before, and this is a way to capture that rain and turn it into an asset before it flows downstream and turns into a flooding liability. Thanks for watching, guys.